Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having an amazing day. If you're new here, I'm Katie, and on this channel, we dive into all things manifestation, stepping into your power, and really consciously creating the life you desire on purpose from the inside out. So if you're into all that, stick around. Okay, so I just finished recording a video where we kind of talked about how the process of manifestation is very simple. And if you missed that video, I'm going to link it up top here. But basically, we dove into how, there's all these tools and techniques and, affirmations, meditations, whatever. And sometimes we can overcomplicate the process, and actually it's our belief that there's always another tool or always another technique that ends up kind of keeping us in this cycle where that is what happens, because as we know, what we believe and what we focus on is what's going to create our reality. So I'm not going to go into it too much because you can go back and watch the video, but I wanted to set the stage because something that I touched on that video is something that I want to like dive deeper into in this video here, just to really hone in on it. So in that video, what we talked about is how really the secret hack, the secret technique to manifestation is just you feeling good and you doing what feels good to you, and how that's why there can never be one technique that does it for anybody, one tool, one morning routine, one full moon ceremony or whatever that does it for every single person, because really the whole purpose of this journey that we're on here in this lifetime is about us coming back to the truth of who we are and coming back to what's authentic for us and stepping into our own power. And it's going to look different for everybody. Maybe sometimes it'll look similar to somebody else, but there's always going to be something a little bit different, something that makes it so you. And so there can never be just one tool or technique, and there's never going to be, because there's no 5-step process to manifesting or 3-step breathwork routine to get you whatever you want. Like if you see all that stuff, sometimes, like I talked about in that last video, it's like if it feels fun to you, if it feels joyful to you, if you like it, then do those things. But know that the power is not in the technique or the tool or the 5-step process. The power is in you, and it's all about how you feel as you're doing it, while you're doing it, after you've done it. That's what the magic is. You are the magic. You and how you feel is the magic secret to manifestation. And so I also kind of talked about it in that video how, you could be someone who's never even studied anything about manifestation, but if you're just living a life where you're doing what feels good and following the flow and allowing yourself to dream and imagine even more things that feel good and following your instincts on that, it's like you would be a master manifester. You don't need to read or learn about this stuff. If it feels good to you and you like it and you enjoy this stuff, then that is your path. Keep going with it because it's all about how you feel. But if you're here because you're like, well, I need to learn about this because nothing's worked, then, this probably isn't for you. It should feel good. It should feel exciting. It should feel like there's some sort of spark that's lighting within you as you listen to this content. So that's really what I wanted to dive into today, is really just like how the hack is you feeling good. The hack is you following your own intuition and allowing yourself to really be more you. I'm just looking down because I had written this. I wrote this note like right before I started this video, because I was like, I want to really emphasize you feeling good and allowing yourself to be more you is the secret to manifestation. That's the secret. And it's really not even a secret because it's so simple. And this is why, like in the last video, I talked about how simple manifestation is, because it's really not this complicated process. And I understand that when it feels like there's a lot of, how do I want to word this? When it feels like your circumstances and the conditions around you are not conducive to you feeling your best, then this doesn't actually seem so simple. And I understand what it's like to be in that position where you're hearing this information and you're like, okay, great. That's well and good for you to say over there, but I've got this going on and I've got this and I've got this, and this. Like, it's actually not that simple for me to just feel good and be more me, because it feels like this, and this. So if that's you, I would recommend going back to some of my previous videos, like scroll down a bit to the ones that are titled things like the circumstances don't matter or how to move beyond your circumstances and manifest anyways. I've got multiple videos that really go like deep dives into that because I understand how that feels. But ultimately, it is actually very simple. And once you're able to move past kind of any of the resistance or judgment or emphasis you've been placing on your external reality, and once you start to realize how, you know, it's never actually about what's happening outside of you, you know, nothing's ever actually happening to you. We're the ones that give our power away and allow ourselves to feel based on what's happening around us. So basically what I mean by that is just like, you know, when we give our power to the circumstances and we say like, well, I can't feel happy because of this, or I can't feel this, that's us essentially giving our power away and saying, this thing controls me. This circumstance is taking my happiness away from me, or this person is making it so I can't feel this way. Once you can get to a place within yourself where you come to that deep inner knowing that there actually isn't anything outside of you that can make you feel or not feel a certain way, then you take your power back, right? And you start to realize that you're the creator of your reality, and it's really just about you following what brings you joy, you feeling more you. And if it looks like the circumstances around you, you're like, how could I even begin to do that when there's all these different things around me that feel like they're opposing it? It literally just starts with very simple choices in your day to day. It starts with you just making very simple choices that seem like they don't make a difference, but they do. Like it can literally start with, okay, you know what? I had this morning routine going where I woke up at this time and then I did this, and this, but I really actually don't like it. And okay, so maybe it's not this huge shift you're going to make in your life, but all of a sudden you're like, you know what is the morning routine that does feel good? Like what actually does feel good? Okay, you know what feels good to me is instead of setting my alarm at 5 a.m. and doing this, and this, I'm going to let myself sleep until 7. And I might just do one thing that's kind of like a self-care thing that I really love, and then I'm going to move on. It's like start by what are the things you do feel like you have more control over, and start by making those choices, because the more that you start choosing your own happiness and making decisions in alignment with that, the easier it's going to feel. And the more your life will start to shift and mold around you to allow it to feel like, oh, now I can make these bigger decisions in alignment with that. Or now here's this opportunity opening up. So I was even just recently having some conversations with friends over the weekend where, you know, we were actually talking. I'm realizing now as I'm recording this video that I was actually just talking to people about this exact same thing, where people were kind of like talking about how, you know, all the wellness trends and all this type of stuff, it can be overwhelming. And, you know, for a while, this girl was saying how she was doing, you know, a massage every week and a sauna once a week and doing the Pilates and doing this, and this. And she named like 10 different things. And she's like, eventually it just got to be too much. And she was doing it because, you know, we hear, well, this is good for you and this is this. And then some influencer tells you that like, this is what you should be doing. And so you start doing all the things. And after a while, you're like burnt out and exhausted from doing all the things, because are they even things that bring you joy? If getting a massage and doing the sauna is like really like, to me, I'm like, oh my God, I like sign me up every week, 100%. But if that feels like a chore or something you have to put on your to-do list, don't do it. Like, it doesn't matter if the thing feels like spiritual or wellnessy, or if it doesn't. Like if your favorite thing is something that feels like totally not in with the wellness trends, not in with whatever everyone else is doing, but it's the thing that brings you the most joy, then do that. Like it doesn't matter if anyone else is doing it. You know, and it even goes for like, you know, food trends and all this type of stuff. Like right now I see it over and over again, how everyone's and for those of you who don't know, my actual degree is in nutrition. I started my career as a registered dietitian, so sometimes I use food and stuff like that as examples because it's like kind of my other expertise. But Everyone right now is obsessed with high protein this, high protein that, high protein that. If that doesn't feel good for you and it feels like this mental stress and added chore to be like, how do I get in this many grams of protein? And I need to make sure my breakfast is high protein and this is high protein and da 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 da. Then that's not for you. Like that's the other thing with nutrition. And to be honest with you guys, that's also why I kind of moved away from the nutrition world and more into this realm, is because I would be working with people and it was just so obvious to me that there's no one diet that works for everybody. And at different phases of your life and your journey, your needs change. And so maybe a high protein diet worked for you at one time, but then it's not working for you anymore. And you trying to force it and you trying to make it happen, even though it feels like a chore. It doesn't feel good. It feels like you're forcing yourself. You don't even really like the way you feel afterwards. Then that's you, again, giving your power away to something outside of you and saying like, this diet is the thing that's going to give it to me. So anyways, that's like a little, maybe if you guys are interested, I'll do a whole like rant video spiel on like what I used to see working in nutrition and like what brought me over here. And I'll go like deeper dive into it. So let me know in the comments below if you want that, because maybe that would be really interesting. But it's, and just FYI, my personal thoughts on the whole high protein thing, I personally don't follow it. I don't think a single thought about protein. I don't count any macros or anything like that. My diet is it's very much like what feels good for my body, and I don't listen to the different trends. And I think that probably for me, maybe that's a little easier because of the path that I took from being really entrenched in the nutrition world to then working with people and seeing how it's really not even about the diet. The diet's like one tiny piece, and how it's more, excuse me, it's more about your energy and your alignment and you doing what feels good for you. That then I became very just like self-assured in how I eat. And it's like, I never look to the outside to see, well, what are other people doing and what do people think about this? I just follow what feels good for me. So anyways, it's the same thing with everything else. Like I'm using diet as an example. I'm using morning routine as an example. I'm using these little things, but it's about you making the decisions in the little moments in your everyday life where you're choosing the things that feel more you. I think that's the thing that I really just want you to sit with and emphasize for yourself, is like, what's the things that feel more me? Like if I'm talking to myself, it's like, what's just like so Katie? Like it's not what so-and-so's doing or what so-and-so's doing or what I see online. It's like, it's just, maybe it's got a tinge of that or a little sprinkle of that, but it's like, ultimately it's like Katiefied. That's like what I like. What's the thing that's youified, basically? Like find the things that have that bit of you in them because they're just so you. It's not anybody else who chose it or what anybody else is doing. It's what you're doing. And you can really just apply that to, absolutely anything you want. So anyways, this is kind of my reminder to you that the secret to manifestation is you feeling good. It's you following what feels most satisfying to you. It's you following the things that feel the most you. And there are definitely tools and techniques you can use that help you connect with that more. Like if you feel like, well, I don't really know what's me, then you know what you can do is just start kind of trying different things. Like almost picture life as like this smorgasbord or like a buffet where it's just like, okay, if you don't really know what feels most you, then you can just try a couple things that, it's not like some high risk scenario. Just, try a couple different things in your morning routine, or a few days, try waking up later, or try going to bed earlier, or try switching up your diet in this way. Like, and just start to notice, okay, how do I feel? And this is where, like I said, there's no tool or technique that's going to do it for you, but I really always recommend meditation because I think that meditation is one of those things that you can really make your own. There's not one way to meditate. Again, it's like you can make meditation your own, but I recommend it because if you don't know what feels good to you, or you're not sure what would be more you, then taking some time every day to just simply connect with yourself, just breathe, get out of your head, get into your body, even just 15 minutes alone is going to start to help you to be more aware of who you are. Even if you're not like I don't mean like you're thinking about it during the meditation or you're trying to say like, okay, this meditation is so that I get some insight as to like who I am. Like not that, but just the practice of simply having 10, 15 minutes a day where you just, shut it all down, come into meditation with yourself, connect with yourself, feel into your own body, let your thoughts kind of dissipate. It just over time, what that helps you do is it helps you to be more in tune with yourself. So you're not just running through the motions on autopilot. You're starting to check in and say, wait, how does that feel? Do I even like this? Is this even me? Does this even feel good? And you start to know, okay, what is more me? What does feel more satisfying to me? What does feel good to me rather than what am I just doing because I'm like in fight or flight on autopilot? So I hope this was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments down below. What did you think of this video? What questions do you have? Just say hi. Let me know that you're here. If you want me to do that, like kind of deep dive on the whole nutrition thing and how I moved from nutrition to where I am now and kind of how that all goes together, let me know because I think that could be maybe interesting to some of you. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot to me and you won't ever miss a video if you subscribe and then you'll get notifications when I post, which is fun. If you want to work with me in a more, if you want to go deeper into this stuff with me, you can check out the links below. There is currently a link for a 14-day free trial to the membership, which is my monthly subscription platform. If you've been watching my videos, you're probably sick of hearing this by now, but we do group energy healing calls every month. We do live group calls every month, or we do Q&A, group coaching, deep dives on specific topics. There's a living library of content like guided meditations, affirmations, journal prompts. There's a monthly energy forecast before each upcoming month. So I feel into the different themes and, intuitively feel into like what's going to be coming up. What do we need to know for the next month? How can we really work with the energy to step into that next level version of ourselves? And then there's also links down below for working with me one-on-one. So single sessions, packages of sessions, and then there's also an application for my kind of like higher level one-on-one programs where we go a little bit deeper. So check those out. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Sending you guys so much love and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.